things change after a trauma? Hello, and welcome to today's insight. All right, so when you go through a trauma, things are definitely going to change. And in my case, because I had a physical trauma, I was hit by a car when I was 19. So ultimately, that gave me some physical trauma, which means I had broken bones, I had a big bruise on my brain, and all of that comes with its repercussions. And the brain takes a very long time to heal. And to this point, to this day, I have some time some times where I slip back into the old pattern. But the interesting thing is that because of the fact that it has been such a long time since my trauma, I know how to deal best with moments where I do slip away from those things that I had learned. Now, the way that generally I deal with my trauma in regards to, like, because I affected my brain, and what happened, the placement of the bruise on my brain was where my memory is stored. So my long-term memory is fine, but my short-term memory is slightly shot, for a lack of a better word. Uh, so what I do is I generally muscle test. And muscle testing is more of a practice in spiritual spheres. Um, so what you do is that you ask a question to your higher self, and your higher self responds to you through having a sign in your body. Because the thing is that you have three layers to your being. So you have your your higher self, which is your connection with divine energy. Then you have your physical body, which is the 3D body, which you can feel, touch, and all that. Then there's your energetic body, which is like, the best way I can explain it is like chakras, or chi, which is more Chinese medicine, or chakras, which is more Indian, those types of things. So when you have, when something in one of those bodies is off kilter, it'll completely ruin your entire dynamic, or the way that you operate on a daily basis. Now, what the muscle testing does is that it helps you connect with your higher self, which has a more broader view of you in your life and what is going on in your life. So let's say, for example, for me, if I forget something, I will ask my higher self if, like, if I misplaced something, or if I don't know, did something wrong or something like that. But it sometimes is very hard to pinpoint, get a direct answer, because there are so many intricate details to any situation that it's not the best. When you use this, okay, especially at the beginning, when you are first starting, it should be only for yes or no questions that are very simple and very easily interpreted. Like, should I try pasta, or should I have the fish? Like, I remember I was on a date, and I actually used the muscle testing to see what I should try. And I my my intuition was like, try this, try the fish. And I was like, okay. So I tried the fish, and it was phenomenal. But like, if I had not known, I would have gone with something uh, more common, like, I don't know, pasta or pizza, and I would not have gotten the same savory dish as if I had gotten something else. But all of this to say that when you are, and by the way, due to the fact that I bruised my brain, as I was saying, my long-term memory is fine, but my short-term memory is kind of spotty. So I need to have tips and like tools, and that's what the muscle testing is about, to make sure that I haven't created that I haven't forgotten something big. And before, and what I meant to say before I went on a tangent of how you should ask questions to your higher self, what I was trying to say is that the more you use this, the more the more refined your ability is. So, for example, when I was learning about muscle testing, the first one of the second time around, the people who taught me this were like, okay, so you can do the finger, your thumb, and your index. You muscle test on these two, and then you just indicate these two. And then I started to do this more often. It's like I knew this prior, but I hadn't really gotten deep into it. So once I started to use more my thumb and my index finger, I then noticed that I was starting to, like, the answer was coming differently on different fingers. And I was like, oh, well, that's interesting. That there's more finesse in this case. So, for example, I've gotten to the point where at this point, when I ask the question, when I ask a yes or no question, and I try to see with muscle testing on my hands, I'll get a yes, a no, a maybe, and a possibly. And so all four of these things indicate different things. They're very slight, but they are indicative of different facets of a specific reality I'm asking a question about. So, is there something that you can go delve deeper into in regards to your intuition after a trauma to help you be more successful in your daily life? Ponder that.